Hi everybody, Peeps here. This time I'm going to do a reading of a fanfic, which is Burning Sparkle, Chapter 1 by BronyBurningAxe. Right, okay, let's get into it. 3, 2, 1, go. Our story begins in Ponyville. Everywhere was quiet and the town was peaceful and tranquil. At the Golden Oak Library, Twilight Sparkle and her faithful assistant Spike had just finished the tiring task of putting away all the books that Twilight had been reading that evening. Phew, I don't know about you, Spike, but my legs could sure use a stretch. Want to come for a trot with me? Twilight asked, while stretching out her front legs and yawning. Sorry, but can we go see Rarity later? Spike had a glint in his eyes as he mentioned Rarity's name. Okay, Casanova. How much do you like her? So I know how much you like her. Twilight wasn't fooled by Spike's not subtle tone. What? I don't even know what you mean, Twilight. Spike asked. There. Sorry. What? I don't know what you mean, Twilight. Spike exclaimed with a hint of nervousness in his voice. Twilight giggled at his response before the two of them walked out the door. Twilight and Spike's walk along the path leading away from the Golden Oak Library. Laughter emits from Twilight's muzzle as Spike says something that amuses her. Oh, Spike, you really do say the funniest things. I was being serious, Twilight. The two of them stopped their journey as they noticed an injured pony on the path. They each gasped in shock before galloping up to the wounded figure. Looking down at the battered pony, they see he is in a critical condition and must do something to aid him. Whoa, are you okay? The little dragon asks the stallion in worry. Help. The stallion calls out for help before falling unconscious. Spike, quick! You have to help me get him inside. Looking towards Spike in sheer fright. She calls to her assistant to help her get the unconscious stallion in the library. Spike helped the stallion on Twilight's back before she could carry him in. The whole time she was carrying him, she couldn't help but struggle with his weight. He may look like your average run-of-the-mill pony at first glance, but it was pretty clear that the stallion worked out a lot. After hauling the hefty stallion up a flight of stairs, Twilight put him to rest on his bed. The Comantus stallion was now resting on Twilight's bed. He looked comfortable. Twilight put her hoof gently on his cheek and glared at him softly. Hey, Twilight. Why would you just levitate him with your magic? Why don't you just levitate him with your magic? Spike brought up a good point, but Twilight wasn't hesitant to answer at all. I wanted to be careful with him. You know how bad... Oh my god. You know how bad a state his body's in. I thought carrying him myself might have been more safe. Twilight answered the dragon with a soft tone in her voice. She was thinking about nothing but the well-being of the stallion lying on a bed. And where is he going to sleep? You're not going to share a bed, are you? Spike once again brings up a very valid point. Twilight stretches her head as she thinks of a viable solution to their new-found dilemma. Spike, you go over to the quills and sofas and have them delivered a new bed. Sorry, my imagination's going. Spike was planning to get the spare bed anyway, in case of any sleepovers she may have in the future. Sorry, Twilight was planning to get a spare bed anyway, in case of any more sleepovers she may have in the future. Spike makes his way to quills and sofas while Twilight stays to keep a watchful eye on their new unconscious guests. Sorry, her unconscious guest. Before her lay a dusty brown Pegasus stallion. He was covered from head to toe in cuts, bruises and gashes. It was clear to see the stallion was either in a fight or attacked. Either way, Twilight would not leave his side. She would dedicate her time to making sure he was all right. She didn't think it would help She didn't think it would help being as he was unconscious, but she decided to read to the stallion. The purple mare used her magic to grab a Daring Do book from one of the nearby shelves. The unicorn cleared her throat and began reading to the stallion. Her words seemed to affect him. He smiled at her words. Comatose as he may be, Twilight's words were enough to relax the stallion from his restless mind. The next morning arrived, and still nothing from the comatose stallion. Twilight had tended to his wounds herself. She put bandages around his cuts and washed away the bloodstains from his fur on his fur. He had also been moved to the new spare bed just opposite her own. Twilight didn't get much sleep. She stayed away most of the night to keep a close eye on her patient. I just don't get it, Spike. Why do you think this must have happened? I've never seen a pony this badly wounded before, she asked her assistant with much confusion and worry in her voice. I don't know, but I'm starving, Spike replied, having nothing but food on his mind. Really, Spike? How could you think of food at a time like this? Twilight, disappointed in the golden dragon, questioning his motives. Spike crossed his arms and changed his tone to a more serious one. Easily. I hadn't eaten since yesterday. I don't know if you remember, but you sent me out to get that spare bed, and by the time I got here, it was dark. Spike's stomach growls furiously, like an angry timber wolf. I like that. I suppose we didn't really get much time last night, considering what happened. Truth be told, I could also go for a bite to eat. But I can't leave him alone. I'm afraid he'll wake up while I'm gone. Twilight conveys her concern to the dragon. You shouldn't keep worrying, Twilight. He's out like a light. It'll probably be days before you get a response. Besides, it is going to take long to grab a bite and come back here. The little dragon urged Twilight to get out of the library to eat, but all Twilight could think about was if leaving the stallion alone was a good idea or not, even if it was only for a short period. I don't know, Spike, maybe you're right, but I just couldn't help but feel I need to be here. Twilight continues her worry towards the resting stallion. Do what you like then, but I'm too hungry to wait. See ya. Spike marches towards the door before being halted by Twilight's words. Wait, Spike, I'll come too. You're right, I should remain calm about the situation. We'll just grab a takeout and be back here in a jiffy, the unicorn explained with a more positive tone. Spike walked up to the unicorn and put a claw on her. It'll be alright, Twilight. It'll be okay, Twilight. We'll be back here in no time. Just relax, will ya? You're starting to worry me a little. The concern in Spike's voice made Twilight realise he was right. She knows the stallion is safe in bed resting. You're right, Spike. Thank you for knocking some sense into me. Come on, let's go. The two left the library to get their breakfast. The room was now silent, nothing to be heard but the sound of the stallion's breathing. Minutes later, the stallion started to become restless, as if he was having a nightmare. What was going on inside his mind was a complete mystery, but it couldn't have been anything pleasant, to say the least. The stallion tossed and turned. The stallion tossed and he turned. It was clear that It was clear that whatever it was he was dreaming of was clearly distressing him. Minute by minute, he became more and more uneasy. The sweat started to just pour right out of him. Suddenly, the stallion's eyes bolt open as he rose from the bed. He looked nervously around the room while out of breath. Where am I? Looking round the room in fright, he couldn't see any pony. The room looked empty. The brown-coated Pegasus had no idea where he was or what he was doing here. The stallion climbed carefully out of bed and puts his two front hooves on the wooden library floor before stumbling headfirst on the ground after losing complete control of his front legs. Whoa! Grunts. Ugh. Sorry, I'm rubbish at that. Collapsing onto the floor, the no-named pony writhed in pain from the ground, trying to stand up with all his might. I can just see you in the comment section right now. I know Burning's watching this. I'm just gonna start over from this paragraph. Whoa. Sorry. I'm gonna go after the grunt. Collapsing onto the floor, the no-name pony writhed in pain on the ground, trying to stand up with all his might, but failed at every attempt. I've got to get back into character. He screamed, crawling towards the staircase to get down the stairs, but the stallion stumbled forward and flew down the staircase, hitting every step harder and harder until eventually landing face first on the ground before screaming. I'm not gonna scream. Screaming roared from the crippled stallion's pony's muzzle. His right front leg was fractured, causing immense pain. The screaming echoed throughout the Golden Oak Library, but no pony was around to hear the stallion's cries of agony. Moments later, Twilight, Sparkle and Spike returned home from collecting their food. They are met with loud screeching as the stallion was down the stairs and in even worse condition from when they found him. Spike, get help quickly! Yelling in panic, Twilight orders her faithful assistant to fetch help as soon as possible, before dropping all the food she bought with Spike and rushing to the injured stallion's aid. The purple mare knew that food was the least of her concern right now. Right. Spike runs from the library in search of help as swiftly as he could. Twilight started stroking the mane of the stallion as she spoke to him. It'll be alright. I'm here for you. This is my fault, and I will make sure to never leave you alone again. Twilight, saddened by her mistake of leaving, tried to make up for it with a promise. The stallion continued to roar in screeching pain, until Twilight placed a hoof on his dusty brown coat. The yells of pain became much more quiet and eventually faded to silent grunts. The stallion felt comforted, knowing he was in safe hooves. A smile formed on his face. His eyes were closed throughout the whole thing. The pain was too unbearable for him to gather the strength to open them. Several days passed by, and still nothing from the dusty brown Pegasus. Sunlight shined. That should be shone, by the way, Dashi. Through. Sorry. Twilight. Oh my god. Sunlight shone through the window onto the sleeping stallion's face, causing him to wake up from his long slumber. He awoke to the sound of giggling ponies. At first he had no idea what to think, but at least he was settled. Fluttershy came to visit Twilight to see how... Yay! Fluttershy! Sorry. Fluttershy came to visit Twilight to see how she was. It had been several days since she or the other friend, or any of her other friends, she or any of her friends saw their purple book-loving friend. Twilight explained the details of what had gone on during the week to Fluttershy. The two of them started to go off topic and began sharing a laugh. Something amused them. The stallion's eyes perked up at the sound of their angelic amusement. Hello? The stallion called out. Twilight and Fluttershy went up the stairs to see how he was doing. Oh, thank goodness you're awake. How are you feeling? The curious mayor asked. I'm feeling much better, although I'm not sure where I am or who you ponies are, the nameless stallion exclaimed in a tone of confusion. The purple unicorn stared into the stallion's that eyes. Sorry. It's 11 in the morning. Sorry. That eyes. And I'm a writer, can you imagine? I have to look up. He had one eye and one green eye. He was fascinated by the sight of them as she began to answer his inquiry. My name's Twilight Sparkle. I found you injured outside the library. That's where I live and is where you are right now. Joining the conversation, the nervous yellow mare introduced herself. I'm Fluttershy. I'm one of Twilight's friends. It's nice to meet you. The mare answered very nervously. The dusty brown stallion smiled at their words. They seemed to be kind and trustworthy. It's very nice to meet you both. Thank you, Twilight, for helping me. I am forever in your debt. The stallion was pleased to meet the two mares standing before him. A blush formed on the purple unicorn's cheeks. It's really no trouble. I had to do something. I couldn't just leave you there. On another note, I am curious to what happened to you. Were you attacked? The unicorn gave the stallion a curious glare. I have no idea what happened. I can't recall getting attacked. The stallion was confused and had trouble remembering what happened. Well, do you at least have a name? I can't keep calling you Thingy all the time. The mare giggled at her own words. Once again, the stallion had no answer for the inquisitive mare. He shrugged his shoulders to her in response before answering. I don't know. I can't remember. I think it begins with a B, but I'm not certain. Still nameless stallion tried as hard as he could to remember, but sadly no name came to his mind. Oh, you poor thing. No name? That's just dreadful. the concerned yellow Pegasus exclaimed. Twilight tried her best to think of a substitute name for the stallion until he came to remember his real one. How about, for now, we just called you the purple... Oh, God. How about... Sorry. How about, for now, we just called you... The purple unicorn gasped as she came up with a name. Boris! The room became silent as a large creepy smile intensified on Twilight's face as she finished her words. Boris? The stallion wasn't pleased by the name she had chosen. Boris! The purple unicorn continued her smile as she repeated the name once more. Boris? Fluttershy wasn't sure what to make of the name. It's settled then. You are now called Boris. The room went silent for the second time as Twilight's smile lit up the room with confusion. Side note, I don't even know what I'm doing right now because that sound that just came from my head, I don't even know. Right. I'm going to be honest, but that name really doesn't fit me. Boris seemed so certain of himself that his new name wouldn't stick. Actually, I think it suits you, Boris. The room continued its short silence before the three ponies laughed together at the ridiculousness of the name. End of chapter 1. Right. Oh, there's a brief description. Let me read. Brief description by BronyBurningAxe. Right. A nameless stallion was found injured just outside Golden Oak Library. Twilight stumbled across the stallion and took him inside to heal. Many days passed as the stallion was laid to rest in the purple unicorn's bed. Woo! After a bout of amnesia, he tries to remember who he is. The memory slowly but surely returns to him during his stay at the library. But little do each of them know, they are falling for each other day by day. Neither of them realises it, but their friends begin to notice. Woo! Lovely! Right, I can't wait to read the rest of it. I'm not sure if I'm going to continue this, because my character voices and the way I stumble is not very thingy. Right, I'll see you later, everybody. I think this is going to get more dislikes than anything I've done ever. Right, I'll see you later, everybody. Bye! Bye.